Americans rave about scientifically tested and newly released weight loss system delivering trackable results within days. Former American Marine and Korean Dr. Combine ancient wisdom with modern science to produce a safe and effective weight loss method that delivers remarkable results within the first 72 hours. You've tried every diet. You've attempted every exercise routine. You've ground yourself into the dust with gut-wrenching cardio. And yet the pounds don't seem to come off or come right back the moment you take a breather. It's an epidemic in the US and around the world, and it affects over 90% of the population. The system dispels the fitness and weight loss myths that have taken root in Western culture and continue to drive up the statistics on heart disease, cancer, joint pain, digestive issues, premature aging, low energy, and a host of other health problems related to being overweight. Fat Decimator is a simple step-by-step process that doesn't require starvation diets, grueling workouts, crazy pills or supplements, or expensive exercise gadgets that don't work. It's an all-natural, scientifically proven program that delivers amazing results to those who follow it. Try Fat Decimator for yourself with no risk. To learn more about this remarkable program, click the link in the description of the video at the bottom and watch Kyle's free Fat Decimator presentation and learn the true secrets about weight loss and how you can finally achieve the results that have eluded you for so long. Here is a small video that explains more and details the Fat Decimator system, and the result of some people.
Warning: the following video covers top secret events. Some names and identifying details have been changed to protect the privacy of individuals. Gunny, it's a trap! I grabbed the nearest man to me, a fresh-faced private named Anders, and I shoved him towards the cave entrance, kicking into high gear behind him. There was a flash and a deafening roar behind me. I felt myself lifted off my feet, and suddenly, the world dissolved into darkness. Hi, I am Marine Gunnery Sergeant Kyle Cooper, and I'm about to share a bizarre story with you about how a disastrous mission in the mountains of Afghanistan led to an amazing discovery that would literally save the life of Sharon Monroe, 43-year-old out-of-shape accountant and mother of two, who nearly dropped dead from a heart attack. What I found in the unforgiving desert would empower Sharon to mysteriously lose over 40 pounds, save her life, and keep her family from living the nightmare of losing their wife and mother. Yes, you heard that right, over 41 pounds to be exact. This was Sharon before, and this is Sharon now. Sharon achieved this miracle without pills, surgeries, or tediously gut-wrenching workouts of any kind. I'll warn you though, you might be shocked and even a little out of sorts when you learn about the method Sharon and I used to eradicate all of that dangerous and unsightly body fat. Not to mention giving Sharon a more youthful look with the energy to go with it. Sharon had been battling with her weight for years and was getting nothing but frustrated. She had tried every weight loss fad and followed the advice of so-called fitness gurus who preached tons of cardio and crazy diets to shift the weight. The real breakthrough came out of nowhere, backed up by independent clinical research from some of the world's top universities, and I had to go overseas to find out about it. It would change Sharon's life for the better. This weight loss method is so astonishingly effective, I have retired from the Marine Corps so that I can dedicate my life to showing this truly miraculous and unusual secret to everyone who wants to shed pounds and improve their health. Over the next 3 minutes, you are going to be exposed to the most malicious lies about nutrition. Lies that throw up an impenetrable roadblock that stop you from losing weight. And what's even more disturbing, cancer, diabetes, heart attack, and other conditions could be taking hold inside you right now, and you wouldn't even realize it. Lies like salty foods are a hindrance to losing weight. I know, it sounds crazy, but the fact is that a lack of salt lowers the pH level in your stomach so that you can't burn fat. The lack of salt leads to a whole bunch of digestive problems, making you bloated, backed up, and so gassy your family won't let you in the house. There are also certain vegetables found in the produce section at the grocery store or commonly served in meals at restaurants that most people think are healthy. But in fact, these vegetables create a serious thyroid imbalance that builds fat in your gut, no matter how much sweaty working out you do. Here's a biggie for you. There have been a remarkable number of studies that show that excessive cardio, daily marathon running, endless cycling, etc., speeds up the aging process, is very ineffective at burning fat, and actually causes serious heart conditions like arterial plaque buildup, oxidative stress, and even serious scar tissue on the heart that leads to deadly heart attacks. I know, goes against everything we've ever been taught, right? And let's not talk about processed sugar. Sugars like corn syrup and maltodextrin that are found in alarming amounts in just about every can, bottle, pouch, or frozen thing in the grocery store. We all know too much sugar is bad, but does the government or the FDA keep it out of our food? Nope. Or what about the scientifically proven fact that fat-free, sugar-free, gluten-free, and low-carb diets make you fatter because of two body-fattening amino acids that are hiding in most of the foods you have been led to believe are healthy? It's a little scary to know that these two acids are injected into most foods that we would consider good for us. They both deliver deadly trans fats right into your bloodstream, destroying the body's metabolic system and bringing the production of thyroid hormones to a grinding halt, especially in women, directly resulting in increased fat storage specifically around your stomach and thighs. Oh, and that's not all. Research on the WebMD clearly shows that people who overdo it when they exercise usually have shorter lifespans or even put themselves at a higher risk of having a heart attack. The early symptoms of a heart attack are shortness of breath and even chest pains. Yet these exercise overachievers just think it's because they've had a good workout. Oh, and this might really tick you off. All of those so-called stars who show up on Nutrisystem success stories pages are scams, and I'll show you proof. See this fit body? This is not the result of eating expensive and pre-packaged Nutrisystem foods. In just a few seconds, I'll reveal the undisputed truth about how all these super fit celebrities really lose so much weight so quickly, right in this very presentation. Yet best of all is that I'm going to show you exactly how Sharon Monroe lost more than 41 pounds and just dodged leaving her husband a widower, and how nearly getting blown to bits in some godforsaken cave in the Khyber Pass between Afghanistan and Pakistan brought me to the discovery that would change not only Sharon's life, but thousands of others since then. So stick with me until the end of this presentation, because I'm also going to share some amazing fat-burning methods with you that you've been hoping for all of your adult life. So turn off the phone, lock the door, and settle back for a few minutes, because you can't afford to miss any of the life-changing and life-saving information I'm about to reveal. You'll learn the precise fat-burning system that's been scientifically tested and proven to decimate the fat cells in your body and melt fat away with incredible speed, skyrocket your energy levels and youthfulness, balance your body chemistry, and ramp up your sex drive to optimum efficiency so quickly, safely, and effectively that you're going to wonder why Dr. Oz, Dr. Phil, and whoever else you watch on TV hasn't been talking about this for years. My method lets you bring on a complete body transformation without any kind of drugs, surgeries, expensive supplements, or exhausting workouts. You want it to get on any BS diets or buy any overpriced fitness garbage. You don't even need any motivational rituals to make it happen. This system has proven to work for folks of any age, body type, or any state of health, because the method is based on sound physiology and anatomical principles of the human body's natural functions. Before we dive in, I need to warn you about something. The weight loss industry is not happy about what I'm doing. This industry, which makes tens of billions by cleverly marketing fads such as the TLC diet, Slim Fast, Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, and of course the South Beach diet, which is now owned by Nutrisystem, by the way, are threatened by the information I'm going to share. Naturally, since I'm exposing the lies they use to milk people out of billions each year, more than 61 billion as of 2010, based on a market data study of the U.S. weight loss industry alone. They are understandably upset at me taking money from their mouths by showing good people, like you, how to lose weight without losing money. Do you know what's really astonishing? That everything I've studied and have been told all my adult life about nutrition and losing body fat was totally wrong. I actually had to leave the country to accidentally stumble upon the proven secrets you're going to learn right here in this video. It always happens, and I will bet it happens to you that once you hear the truth, you'll immediately feel a surge in energy and vitality just from knowing that you too can accomplish what you hoped to for so long. just like the 53,816 other regular folks who have used my technique and which you're about to learn today. I don't expect you to take my word for it. No way. In a moment, I'll show you undeniable facts. Facts you can verify on your own if you want to. Imagine waking up tomorrow with as much energy and pep as you used to have in your 20s. Even if you are now in your 40s, 50s, or even 70s, you will watch as day by day, your stubborn belly that's been hanging over your belt or pushing out that front of your dress dissolves. You'll rapidly begin to feel and look healthier than you have in decades. You'll also discover that the symptoms and causes of all your major health issues like hyperthyroidism, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, chronic joint pain, and so many others will begin to fade so rapidly and in a way that's so unimaginable, it'll reaffirm your faith or make you believe in a higher power if you don't already now. The secret I'm about to reveal is so simple and so easy, and the results are so dramatic that it'll probably seem unbelievable at first, which is understandable. It's natural to wonder how this could have gotten by you in the first place. I honestly felt the same way, and I learned about the incredible but proven science regarding a fat-burning cycle hiding in the human anatomy that we Westerners, Americans, Canadians, Australians, and Europeans are not privy to. I honestly didn't believe it at first, just more health mumbo-jumbo. Keep in mind that as a gunnery sergeant in the Marine Force Recon Unit, I wasn't just responsible for my team and for the team of National Guardsmen that were with me that fateful night in the cave. I was responsible for their physical fitness training too. Yet when I watched the results of out-of-shape, middle-aged soldiers using this program, how National Guard units called up to serve were staffed by out-of-shape guys in their 30s, 40s, and even 50s, guys who were mostly accountants, engineers, and the like, and played soldier once a month, who were suddenly called to active duty to fight terrorist threats, how they rapidly transformed into lean, mean fighting machines. Guys who couldn't wait to serve and couldn't wait to return home and show their friends and family how fit and happy they were, and how I watched Sharon slim down within a matter of weeks. It is one thing to whip a bunch of soldiers into shape. They have to do what I say. But to see a civilian who'd given up all hope pull herself out of the cold clutches of death's hands, nothing can replace that feeling. And of course, seeing how my little fitness boot camp grew so fast that I could barely keep up with the demand of those who wanted to obtain the obvious results for themselves. Seeing the astonishing and life-altering results of tens of thousands of people, no different than you or me, trying and succeeding with this system themselves. I know that what I'm about to show you gives you a lean and healthy body, as well as the confidence you used to have, or perhaps never had, but have always wanted. The most mind-blowing thing of all is that this weight loss secret completely eliminates several dangerous toxins, free radicals, and even heavy metals from your body to unlock reserves of energy that make you feel young again and breathe new vitality into every cell in your body. That's exactly what Patricia in Youngstown, Ohio discovered. She lost 28 pounds and several inches off her waist and thighs. She really knew it had happened when she tried on a dress at Macy's and discovered that the size 14 she'd been for years was now billowing around her, and she went all the way down to size 9. Then there's David from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, who dropped a whopping 57 pounds and discovered that his type 2 diabetes was gone and he no longer faced the prospect of daily insulin injections and expensive medications that only a few months earlier his doctor had told him to expect. Or Tamara from Chicago. Tamara used this simple method you're about to learn and dropped 32 pounds, which gave her the boost of self-esteem she needed to apply for and receive a big promotion at her law firm. Or Vince from Long Beach, California. He lost 22 pounds in under a month. He trimmed down considerably, looks and feels great, and landed himself a beautiful and successful new lady in his life. Listen to what Amanda from Boston says. Dear Kyle, I'll admit that I was a little skeptical at first, yet what you showed us in your presentation was hard to ignore, and now that I've tried it, I can say it's amazing. Before watching your video, I was 25 pounds overweight and my doctor said that my blood pressure was way too high. My cholesterol was through the roof and he prescribed me several meds that were only partially covered by insurance. I was pretty down and figured I was a lost cause. But then you explained the science behind your technique, and it was so simple and made so much sense, I figured, what do I have to lose? 27 pounds, that's what. In 3 weeks, I totally changed my life, more than 7 pounds per week. my BP and cholesterol have dropped back to normal and I look better than I have in years. Hoorah, Gunny! Just a couple of nice words out of the tens of thousands of success stories I've received, and I'll share a few more in a bit as well. But before I do, it's critical that I tell you how this system works and why it not only transforms your body, it also saves your very life. As mentioned, my name is Kyle Cooper, a retired Marine gunnery sergeant, husband and proud father of 2 awesome kids. In fact, here's a quick shot of us hanging out from a few weeks ago. At this point, I'm considered a celebrity in the health world. I've met top fitness gurus, and I've even done business with some very notable names. It's still kind of unreal to me. I'm really humbled to have been labeled as one of the top body transformation experts in the world, a guy who's had success with tough clients other trainers couldn't help, totally reshaping their bodies in a matter of a short few months. But I'm really nobody special, no different than you. I was just lucky enough to blunder into a weight loss formula that has helped Sharon Monroe, a 43-year-old out-of-shape woman whose transformation, as you can tell by the picture, is pretty darn amazing. Not only does Sharon look and feel better, she now has the energy to share special family moments with her son and daughter and husband of 15 years. Like most people, including me at first, Sharon was pretty skeptical. Now, I'm not talking about before, where she was understandably uncertain. I'm saying that Sharon was skeptical even after she lost 41 pounds, looked great, and felt better than she had since she was 25. Sharon wanted medical and scientific proof that it was my system that changed her. So she got a complete physical at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, driving all the way from St. Louis, Missouri, where we live. The doctors were amazed to tell Sharon that even though she was 43, her body was that of a woman 20 years younger. Biologically speaking, Sharon's body was anatomically identical to a woman half her age. That's an incredibly astonishing thing to hear from some of the world's most prominent physicians, both for Sharon and for me as well. It's even more remarkable when you think that just 2 years ago, Sharon was a flabby, out-of-shape lady who was headed for a heart attack and at risk of developing type 2 diabetes. A woman who never had any energy and whose sex life was going down the tubes. I can still remember how floored I was when Sharon told me about the day she almost died back in February of 2014. Sharon had gotten into her head that it was time to take action. So, like many people who don't exercise but are very overweight and want radical change, she didn't ease into it. She went full out. She decided to run 3 miles, or at least jog them, in a park near her home. After the first mile, she noticed that the running was really hard and getting harder by the second. As Sharon gasped for air and felt the burn in her muscles, she kept going, telling herself that she had to push through it. No pain, no gain. After about 1.5 miles, Sharon got what she thought was a big stitch in her side. She ignored it for another minute or two until her heart started hammering so hard it hurt and was roaring in her ears. She stopped and fell down on her knees, doubled over in pain. Sharon, who was 40 at the time, didn't realize that there was something seriously wrong with her heart and that these chest pains, stomach pains, and breathing difficulties were warning signs. 2 nights later, on Friday, after Sharon and her husband went out for a date night at a Mexican restaurant they loved, she woke up in the middle of the night with crushing chest pains and labored breathing. Thinking it was just acid from the food, Sharon took a few Tums and sat up for a bit as she waited for the heartburn to subside. Yet, what we all fear the most was about to happen to Sharon. An hour after she had been woken by the pain, her left arm started to tingle. Sharon woke her husband and told him what she was feeling. She said that this didn't sound like heartburn and that she was having symptoms of a heart attack. Sharon broke into a cold sweat and began to believe her husband was right. It was time to go to the emergency room. It was certainly a life-changing doctor's visit. The doctors confirmed that Sharon did have a very mild heart attack, thankfully not a big one, yet. She was told that she was considered obese and that her weight had brought on cardiovascular damage. Sharon was shocked beyond belief. Here she was, 40 years old, trying to get fit after so long, and as a result, she had found out she had heart disease. Sharon sat with her husband after returning from the ER and cried like a baby. Sharon took a few days off from work. The morning after she'd come back from the ER, she helped Tyler get the kids off to school. She watched her 8-year-old daughter and 10-year-old son get on the bus, and it suddenly hit her. Would this be the last time? How many more days did she have with them? That day at the ER was a hammering blow of a wake-up call for Sharon. She knew she needed to drop a few pounds, but she hadn't even imagined anything like this. Like most of us, Sharon was pretty good at self-justification and denial. Sharon made excuses for herself and turned to fitness fads and quick fixes, spending hundreds of dollars on things that obviously didn't work. The problem is that weight loss systems like Nutrisystem, Atkins, SlimFast, and South Beach are all about restricting your diet, counting calories, and starving yourself. When she was on one diet or the other, Sharon felt extreme hunger a lot of the time, especially at night. What she didn't realize was that these diets simply restrict caloric intake, and when your body is starved, it turns to survival mode, storing more and more food as fat as a means of preservation. Sharon would get so ticked off thinking about all the money she had wasted on Paleo, Nutrisystem, and the TLC diet programs. They had made her bank account smaller, but not her stomach. On top of everything, Sharon's LDL level, the bad type of cholesterol, was extremely high, which is a huge contributing factor to heart disease as well as diabetes. Not even a week later, with everything that had happened and what she had been told, Sharon was struck with a massive wave of depression. Sharon fell to her knees in front of her bed and began sobbing uncontrollably. She didn't notice that her 10-year-old son was watching her from the doorway. He put his arms around Sharon and said something really moving. "It's okay, Mom," he said. "Jesus is going to take care of you." Sharon hugged and kissed him, taking comfort in her young son's bravery and feeling a little guilty too. However, the very next day would put the final nail in Sharon's coffin of depression. As Sharon and her husband waited for word from her doctor, each second crept by and seemed to drag out their dread intolerably. Finally, the doctor came in and told them in no uncertain terms about the bleak consequences of Sharon ignoring her weight for so long. She said, "Sharon, these are the facts. If you don't lose at least 40 pounds, I'm not sure how long your heart will be able to support your body at your current weight. Well, your blood pressure is steady at 175/110. Your BMI is over 30, and your cholesterol levels are through the roof." Sharon felt helpless and defeated, feeling that there was no way to drop 40 pounds when she hadn't even lost 5 pounds in the last couple of years. Now, I'm not sharing this as some kind of sympathy bid for Sharon or to pluck at your heartstrings. I'm sharing this because everything happened so fast and Sharon hadn't thought she was really that unhealthy, just that she was getting older. That's the scary part about age, that there's this time bomb waiting to go off. Sharon would have to explain to her kids what was going to happen and try to figure out how they'd be taken care of once she was gone. She was pondering a life that might only last a matter of months. Yet her son, with total confidence, repeated that Jesus would fix it. Sharon isn't a deeply religious woman, but deep down she desperately hoped that Jesus would indeed save her. Here's where the story would have ended, if not for that brush with death I had in a stinking hot cave in Afghanistan, an event that would literally lead to Sharon's salvation. My memories are as fresh as if it happened last night. I'd been in the country for about 3 months. As the gunny of our Force Recon team, it was my job to train my men as well as lead them on missions. I was also assigned to train and manage a National Guard unit for my home state of Missouri as well. They were National Guardsmen, guys who met once a month to do a little training, but were mostly average Joes, accountants, truck drivers, engineers, you name it. And a lot of these guys were older too. The average age in the unit under me was 40. These weren't the super fit, kick-ass Marines of my Force Recon team. These were often pudgy, out-of-shape middle-aged guys who never expected to have to see any real down and dirty combat in a boiling hot desert country. Yet, I'm sorry to admit, my training program wasn't having much success. My Marines and I were in great shape, and yet no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't seem to whip these guardsmen into lean, mean fighting machines. I tried everything. More water, totally banning carbs, I even confiscated the salt shaker in the mess. Yet it just wasn't working out, and it would soon bite us all in the ass. We got a tip that the man himself, Osama bin Laden, was trying to get out of Afghanistan through the Khyber Pass. He was hiding in a cave, and it was my team's job to go in and get him. This was before the SEALs finally succeeded a little while later, remember? So, my Force Recon unit and a squad of guardsmen were to act as fire support. We geared up and made our way into the pass on that fateful night. I had a feeling something was wrong when we got to the location and found only 4 sentries on duty outside the cave. If bin Laden was in there, shouldn't there be a whole garrison? On the other hand, if they wanted to give the appearance that nothing was going on, this would be the way. Command told me to proceed and we moved in. We took the guards out with single shots, sprayed the entrance to the cave with automatic fire, and went in with our night vision goggles on. The cave was small, and aside from a few crates, it was pretty much empty. There was a small opening in the rear, so Private Anders, Sergeant Olson of the National Guard, and I went in to investigate. And that's when Anders spotted the IED they've planted as a booby trap. "Gunny, it's a trap!" I grabbed Anders and flung him toward the entrance. "Run! Olson, get the hell out of here!" Olson turned to follow. Olson was one of the guys that I was trying to train. A big, good-natured guy in his mid-40s. He was strong and gung-ho, but he was also 30 or 40 pounds overweight. One of the worst runners in my entire team, in fact. As I pushed Anders out, I turned back to make sure Olson was ahead of me. He shoved me forward. "I'm right behind you, Gunny. Go!" I didn't like it. I always made sure I was the last out, but there was no time to argue. As we bolted for the cave mouth, the bomb went off in a flash of light and a deafening roar. I felt myself flung into the air, and then the world dissolved into blackness. I came to back at the base. The doc said I was out for almost 6 hours. "How's the team?" I asked. "Everybody else is fine, including Anders," Doc said. But Olson didn't make it. He must have been way back in the cave when the bomb detonated. His body probably protected you from the worst of the blast and the flying shrapnel. He just wasn't fast enough. These words were like a hot, wet knife in my guts. I felt like I'd failed Olson. It was my job to whip him into shape, and nothing I did helped. And he paid the price for his lack of fitness. I felt like everything I'd ever learned was completely bull crap, and I didn't know where to turn for answers. Often it's always darkest before the dawn, and out of the blue, something amazing happened. Something I would never have thought of was revealed to me. A young med student from Korea named Sam Pak came to my tent that evening to talk to me. Sam was part of the combined UN forces, and since he hadn't graduated yet, he was a medical corpsman, first class. Sam was in the ward where Anders and I had been treated, so he knew what had happened. He also knew that I was down about the incident and how I could help the men under my command. "Kyle," Sam said as we shared a drink, "you've got a lot of heart and you're working your guys hard, but your approach is all wrong." I looked at him incredulously. He smiled. I know, but hear me out. Your exercise routines are too long. The men need 3 times the amount of carbs you're allowing them, and as for restricting their salt, if you keep that up, their bodies will keep storing fat and they'll never build up enough energy. Sam explained that the biggest reason men and women in their 30s, 40s, and even 60s don't lose weight and are storing fat is because of metabolic acidosis. He told me that metabolic acidosis occurs when your kidneys can't get rid of food acid properly. This makes your body store fat and throws your fat-burning cycles out of whack. And it doesn't matter how much you work yourself to death in the gym or on the road. Metabolic acidosis makes absolutely certain you never lose an ounce of fat. Countless independently verified medical studies clearly demonstrate how metabolic acidosis is the primary reason 93.6% of people struggle with weight loss. A body that is overly acidic is retaining fat in order to protect itself against harmful acids that weaken your body's immune system and screw with the important metabolic processes. And the news only gets worse. The majority of people have little or no energy and feel tired and lethargic all the time, and on top of it all, eat the wrong foods at the wrong hours of the day, which throws natural fat-burning cycles off balance. After seeing the pain in my eyes and the looks of despair on the soldiers I was supposed to train, Sam took a deep breath, put his hands on my shoulders, looked me square in the eye and said, "I've got the formula that has the power to solve an obesity pandemic that's killing men, women, and children all over the globe." I still have the folder that Sam gave me with the lists of all the herbs, minerals, and guidelines that will destroy 10% of body fat in any man or woman over the age of 30 in a matter of only 21 days. Sam had rocked my world and left me with a lot to think about. I slept on it, and bright and early the next morning, Sam showed up with a manila file folder loaded with over 20 pages of handwritten notes, stickies, and a few printed pages. "In this folder," Sam said, "is everything you'll ever need to train anybody and to revitalize every cell in their body, kick their fat-burning cycles back into gear, and jolt their metabolism back to where it was in their 20s. He called it his Biometric Metabolic Boosting Fitness and Nutrition Protocol. Honestly, a lot of what he wrote, after I could decipher his handwriting that is, wasn't even that complex. However, I was very new to some of the all-natural minerals, herbs, and weight-decimating formulas included in the folder. Sam said that most of these unknown herbs and minerals, at least unknown to me, are consumed daily by some of the oldest and healthiest countries in the world, such as Indonesia, Japan, and Vietnam, not to mention Korea, naturally. But the most amazing thing was this. Both seasoned and brand new studies alike show that for the past 10 years, these countries have some of the lowest obesity, cancer, and heart disease rates in the world. And not only that, they also live the longest and look the youngest. So I bit the bullet and pored over Sam's notes for most of that day. I was excited about sharing what I'd learned with my men. I met with the men from my unit and the National Guardsmen later that day and told them about Sam's information and what I wanted to do. I told them to enjoy the weekend because come Monday, it was on. Holy crap! I was not expecting the level of excitement that greeted me at 0600, that's 6 a.m. to you normal folks, on Monday morning. Every one of those men were talking about just how following the little bit of info I'd given them on Friday had already made a difference. They slept great, they felt great, and they were ready to go. The really cool thing was this. 90% of the soldiers lost an average of 3 pounds over the week with light to mild physical activity without making any changes to their diet whatsoever. I noticed that my Marines seemed more focused, and so did the Guardsmen, especially when you consider their age and the fact that many of them were taking meds for high blood pressure and high cholesterol. Now here's the really crazy part. Sam's plan actually increased the number of carbs these guys could eat, which they loved, as well as increasing their sodium intake. Yeah, this flies in the face of common fitness wisdom, yet they continue to lose weight at a faster and faster rate. We're talking about 3 pounds per week on average, and without any noticeable energy drain, as often happens with diets that restrict food intake. And on the weekends, these guys were pigging out on bread, pasta, cakes, and pies sent from home, ice cream, and even beers. In less than a month, Sam's plan was starting to go viral on the base. I had so many men and women from non-infantry units begging for me to help them. And do you know the interesting thing? Everyone was obligated to take a complete physical. I was totally flabbergasted to see men and women in their 40s with LDL levels at 70, which is almost perfect. One of our doctors, who was a National Guard captain, was so astonished he made a special trip to come and tell me that he didn't understand why nearly every man and woman who'd been working with me had a blood pressure of around 110/80. These numbers are what you'd expect in kids, 20-somethings, and newlyweds. It's funny, after spending so many years missing the key ingredient, I finally had the key to something incredible. And it would lead directly to the miracle Sharon was hoping for. I shared my plan with hundreds of people during my tour, yet I couldn't wait to get back to the States and share it with everyone I knew. I finally found the buried treasure that could completely transform anyone's body. Yet I kept dreaming about that night in the cave, about the sound of fright in Private Anders' voice and the crazy thoughts that ran through my head. I thanked God that I was alive, and the next morning woke up with a conviction in my heart. I dedicated my life to Sam's research and make a real difference in the world. In less than a month, I was rotated home and couldn't wait to fly back to the States. I had Sam's folder containing 21 pages of notes that would become the basis for my program and miraculously change the lives of over 50,000 men and women who struggled with their weight to transform their bodies and reclaim their health. After being home for a couple of weeks, I began to really think about my promise and how to bring Sam's remarkable weight loss method to the world, all the while having no idea that I'd run straight into Sharon Monroe. I actually had a meeting with the pastor of one of the largest churches in St. Louis. It was a weekday, and I was a little bit early for my meeting. The church was mostly empty, but I couldn't help but notice this woman sitting in the near front row of the pews. I could see she was overweight and that she was cradling her head in her hands and sobbing. I just had this urge to go over and sit next to her. I said hello and asked what was wrong. Sharon looked at me blankly for a moment, probably wanting to tell me to get lost, but I think when she saw that I was in uniform, I had attended a debriefing that morning. She only sighed and told me that she had gotten some horrible news from the doctor about her weight and health and a very real prospect of dying. Little did I know, but Sam's innovative system was the miracle that Sharon's son had been so certain of. I wondered if what I'd learned from Sam could help her. It was certainly worth a try. Hell, after hearing Sharon's story, I couldn't in good conscience turn away, could I? I put my hand on Sharon's shoulder and said, "I'm Gunnery Sergeant Kyle Cooper. I just got back from Afghanistan, where I've been fighting and training soldiers for 6 months. I met a medical student from Korea who shared something incredible with me. So incredible, I've used it to help hundreds of soldiers totally transform their bodies and recapture their youthful health. If you're willing to try, I'd like to work with you too. She said that honestly, she couldn't see how a folder full of loose notes could do any good. Yet Sharon was desperate, and she said that she couldn't very well look her husband and kids in the eye tonight if she didn't take a lifeline that was thrown to her. I gave Sharon Sam's program and told her to do exactly what it said for the next 2 months. It was crazy. Sharon called me every night, sometimes laughing and sometimes crying about how she'd lost a pound that day or 2 pounds and how after a week she had to tighten her belt up by 2 notches because her fat pants were falling off her. The same doctor that had told Sharon to start making her arrangements was totally flabbergasted at her next visit. "I don't know what you're doing, Miss Monroe," the doc said, "but keep doing it. Your BP is lower, your HDLs are down, and your LDLs are up." Sharon was able to throw away her blood pressure and cholesterol pills too. The big surprise was that on day 21 of Sam's program, Sharon and Tyler were astonished to discover that she had lost a total of 41 pounds. Sharon's friends and family couldn't believe it. They all wanted to know what the big secret was. As if Sharon's transformation wasn't amazing enough, something really cool happened too. Sharon had told me their son, Aiden, would regularly come home from school crying because the kids teased him about being fat. In fact, the family doctor said that if Aiden didn't lose some weight soon, he could develop full-blown diabetes for life. Yet Aiden did something truly intriguing. Aiden was still at the age where he wanted to do what Mom and Dad were doing. So he copied everything Sharon did, and after the first week, they were all floored when Aiden had lost an amazing 4 pounds. So they kept him on it, and by the end of Sam's recommended 21 days, Aiden had lost a total of 21 pounds and looked like a brand new kid. This was the kick in the butt I needed. I started the weight loss boot camp. I only had 5 students to start, but when I shared Sam Pack's program and Sharon and Aiden's stories, folks were excited, and man, how the camp grew. By the end of the first 3 weeks, my 5 students had talked so excitedly about the program that my little camp now had over 50 members and continued to grow. They were all dropping pounds, restoring their health, and reclaiming their youth, now as active as they were in their 20s. With emotional call after emotional call, thanking me for sharing this plan with them and for changing their lives, it became clear that this was my calling. I was determined to get this health breakthrough into the hands of the masses, even if I risked the anger of top gym chains and health industries who wanted to come after me and take me down. I took Sam's folder and copied documents and created a comprehensive and easy-to-follow fat decimating action plan. I listed dozens of the most powerful herbs and minerals you should add to your diet right now to eradicate fat, turn back the clock of age, and dramatically revitalize traumatized cells. But it's not enough to know what to do. You need to know what not to also. So I created a list of the supposed health foods and veggies that actually cause you to harm yourself and retain fat. I also included a list of rare and almost unknown smoothie recipes needed to enhance your youthfulness and rid your body of destructive toxins, heavy metals, and free radicals. Plus, my system, or Sam's in mine, includes an exact step-by-step plan to change your eating cycles and jumpstart your metabolic processes into high gear within the first 3 days. My campaign has certainly pissed off the Weight Watchers and Atkins folks for sure, but to hell with them. What I'm sharing is just too important for you to learn and guarantee you a healthy and energetic body. Aside from listing tasty foods and nutrients that your body needs, I also include what I call the Ultimate Pound Shedding Week that starts today and kicks your fat-burning cycles into high gear. It works for anyone, even if you're trying to lose 30 pounds or more and want to look younger. To see and feel your smooth face from your forehead to the bottom of your neck. It's all presented in a simple step-by-step action plan. And another thing, and this is critical, any program requires tracking so you can see your results and know you're getting somewhere, as well as making adjustments along the way to fit your exact needs. Therefore, the system gives you a daily progressive tracking formula to measure your fat percentages versus muscle growth each week. Sam's name for it is way too long, so I've created a simple and plain name that really describes our system. It's called the Fat Decimator System. Based on the 53,816 people who've used Fat Decimator, I can tell you that the average weight loss over the 21 days of the program is around 22 pounds, or more than a pound a day. Folks like Samantha in Cincinnati, Ohio, who lost 31 pounds. Steve in Warwick, Rhode Island, who lost 36 pounds and went down 4 pant sizes. And Jennifer Harvey in Louisiana, who lost an incredible 48 pounds and was able to fit into her mother's wedding dress on her big day and amazed everyone, especially her new hubby. I want you to understand that this system isn't just a quick fix. Yeah, you'll lose weight, repair damaged cells, and revitalize your body quickly. Yet the Fat Decimator system is really designed to give you 100% confidence in the idea that you have the power to keep the weight off permanently. The Fat Decimator system, let's call it FDS for short, requires no restrictive dieting, calorie counting, or any other harsh rules that are virtually impossible to follow. However, if you'd just like to shrink your belly fat and dissolve that annoying muffin top, I'm also including an easy-to-follow 3-minute belly shrinker video series along with a little-known belly detox formula in which all of the ingredients you can find in your kitchen cabinet right now. This formula alone will melt several inches from your waist so you can look good on your next date, wedding, anniversary, or high school reunion. When you think about everything we've talked about, it should be abundantly clear that there's nothing else on the planet like the Fat Decimator systems. Sure, there are other options out there, yet let's think about them a little. You could continue trying every new fad diet or gut-busting workout DVD that hits the market. If their claims were really true, then why does the Center for Disease Control continually report a 35% increase in obesity each year? You can try workouts like Insanity and P90X and damage your joints or starve yourself eating undersized food portions in those expensive and ridiculous colorful containers like Nutrisystem, or use the out-of-date Weight Watchers point system, which throws your body into survival mode. You could shell out $400 each month on a certified trainer and nutritionist who all take silly one-day courses to get certified but actually have no knowledge about how the body actually digests food and are ignorant of the metabolic changes that take place when you're in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. Or you can choose FDS and learn the personal detox secrets celebrity trainers like Bill Phillips, Jillian Michaels, Mary Helen Bowers, and Danny Musico will never tell you about. But thanks to the Fat Decimator system, you'll get these incredibly powerful secrets to use for yourself. And you're not hampered by any strict rules. You don't starve yourself. You don't swallow expensive pills or medications. And you don't work yourself to death in a gym while you hate every second. You just follow the simple biological nutritional-based formula inside and put more of the foods you like back into your diet. Consider mine and Sam's system has already been validated by the scientific community, top doctors around the world, and by more than 53,800 others just like you. It shouldn't be a surprise why when we first brought it to the market, we thought of charging $349. That's considerably less than what you spend for a year's worth of doctor's visits, prescription meds, health insurance premiums, or even a month with a trainer. Yet once you get your hands on the easy-to-follow system, the little-known herbs and nutrients, powerful body detox and anti-aging smoothie formulas, the healthy foods you should avoid at all costs, the wellness tracking charts, all of which are completely adjustable to your specific needs, and don't forget the 3-minute belly shrinker video series to slim and trim your belly fat. You'll revel in the long-lasting health. You'll lose as much fat as you want. You'll see and feel the visible signs of youthful skin on your face. I'm not even mentioning those things on which you can't put a price, such as the security and comfort of knowing that you'll be there to see your children and grandchildren's adorable faces for decades to come. All things considered, $349 seems like a very fair price. You wouldn't believe the number of people who have suggested I charge more, but that's not why I'm doing this. This is my mission in life. It's not just about grabbing a buck. That's why you're not going to be asked to pay anywhere close to $349 to get the Fat Decimator system today. Actually, you won't even pay $199 or even as little as $99, which is less than the cost of 2 personal training sessions, P90X, or a Beachbody bundle. As a special thanks for watching this video presentation, if you act now, I'll let you have the entire Fat Decimator system for only $37. I strongly encourage you to make this critical decision today and to empower yourself with a simple, easy-to-follow, physician-trusted, and absolutely proven way to rapidly lose weight. So, click the Add to the Cart button below, and you'll be taken to our secure checkout page that looks like this. As soon as you've entered your information, you'll get instant access to the entire Fat Decimator system. As an additional special little treat, a treat that I know has saved many marriages and relationships, I am also throwing in the exclusive list of sex-driving enhancing foods, so potent nuns and priests are forbidden to eat them. They ramp up your sex drive, man or woman, starting tonight, and give you that special intimate vitality to make you feel like you're a college kid again. You get it all, and you can get it all right now. You can download all the materials or even print out as many copies as you would like and begin the program 2 minutes from right now. The total and permanent solution to your health and well-being is only 20 seconds away, and all it takes is a click of a button. So don't wait. Take advantage of this awesome plan at the awesome price of only $37 and change your life right now. Still a little hesitant? Not sure if the Fat Decimator system is right for you? Then let me put your mind at ease. I'm so confident in Sam's research and its proven results that I'm going to back up your small $37 investment today with a 100% total satisfaction, no questions asked, 60-day money-back guarantee. So all I'm really asking is that you say maybe to the Fat Decimator system right now. Get your instant access to the guide, the rejuvenating, life-changing smoothie recipes, the fastest weight loss week action plan, the fat-burning metabolism cycle reset tools, the list of dozens of minerals and herbs to reverse the acidification in your body, the 3-minute belly shrinker video series, what veggies and fruits you should stay away from, and discover the ones you should add to remove the fat for good. Take a full 2 months to try this out for yourself, and if, for any reason, you are not completely satisfied or you see the numbers on the scale going in the wrong direction and your health has not dramatically restored, just send an email to the address we'll give you on the number page stating that you want a refund, and I'll immediately send back what you've paid today with no questions asked. That's how sure I am in the power of the Fat Decimator system. All I ask is that you actually follow the system and give it an honest try for 60 days. This really should be the easiest choice you've ever had to make. A choice that gives you the little-known herbs and nutrients that will make you look and feel younger, smoothie recipes that will boost your vitality and double your quality of life, and don't forget the 3-minute belly shrinker videos packed full of simple 6-pack tweaks you can do before bed, and so very much more. Get started now by clicking the Add to Cart button below. This video is about to end. There are only a few seconds left to make this 100% risk-free decision. At the end of the day, I can't decide for you. Whether you desire to reclaim decades of perfect health or not is a choice only you can make. You can choose to do nothing and wait for the ticking health bomb to go off, just like the one that almost killed me in Afghanistan. Just like the one that Sharon Monroe ignored that nearly left her husband Tyler a widower and her kids motherless. Just like the one that was slowly killing Sharon's 10-year-old son and that nobody even knew about. These aren't really options at all, and you know it, which is why you need to click the Add to Cart button below and try FDS for yourself right now, 100% risk-free. Get the step-by-step guides, the food list, the smoothies, the herbs and minerals, the 3-minute belly shrinker series, everything. And see how fast and easy it is to melt away the disgusting fat that's been clinging to your body for years. The choice is yours. Here's to a long, healthy, and happy life. I'm Kyle Cooper. Still here? That's okay. I know we've covered a lot of stuff in this presentation, and you still may have some questions about what you just saw. To help you out a bit, I'll go ahead and answer some of the most common questions people ask me about the Fat Decimator system. Question: why do I keep going back to my old out-of-shape self? Well, the answer: you work out for a few months and get in shape and fall back to the old habits because you weren't conditioned mentally, only physically, and maybe not even that. Physical fitness is only half the battle. All fitness is 80% mental. Gyms and personal trainers give folks a temporary band-aid, but never address the actual issue. The Fat Decimator system includes proven strategies for getting your mind in the right state to make your journey so much easier. Question: what results can I expect in the first week? Answer: Every day, you will notice how simple my methods are and how the secret fat-burning super minerals and nutrients speed up the fat-burning process even while you rest at night. Everyone isn't the same, yet after the first week with FDS, most people experience one or more of the following: more energy, 5 pounds lighter, joint relief, self-motivation, happiness, and a positive change in their physiological states. Question: how can simple minerals, nutrient smoothies, and eating more carbs benefit me? Answer: well, like I mentioned during the presentation you just saw, a lot of foods most people believe are healthy can slow down your metabolism because they lack the nutrients and enzymes to destroy fat and toxins. Also, there are certain things we should eat but many of us don't, and our bodies are suffering from a lack of important minerals and nutrients to aid in burning fat and improving overall health.